Tasha has 4 credit cards in her wallet, and she has never once been late on a payment. Not once in 9 years. She checks a box every single month, sends in exactly what the statement asks for, and considers herself financially responsible. She is $31,000 in debt and has been for 6 years. Because the number on that statement, the one she dutifully pays every month, was never designed to get her out of debt. It was designed to keep her in it, comfortably, indefinitely, without ever feeling like anything is wrong. Kevin, who works with her at the same distribution center, has 1 credit card, pays it off completely every single month, and has never paid a cent of interest in his life. Same income, same city, same access to the exact same financial products. One of them is being quietly harvested by a mechanism most people have never had explained to them in plain language. Today, I'm showing you exactly how that mechanism works, why it's built into nearly everything you buy, and how to spot it before it spots you. Here's the part almost nobody knows. Credit card minimum payments aren't calculated to help you pay off your balance. They're calculated to keep you paying for as long as mathematically possible, while still technically staying in good standing. Most card issuers set the minimum around 2 to 3% of your balance, or a small flat fee, whichever is higher. That number isn't arbitrary. It's the output of a calculation designed to stretch repayment out for years, sometimes decades, while collecting the maximum amount of interest along the way. Tasha's card statement, like every card statement in America since 2009, legally has to disclose this. Buried near the bottom, in small print, she has scrolled past every month for 6 years. It says that if she only pays the minimum, it will take her 26 years to pay off her current balance. And she will pay more than twice her original balance in interest alone. She has never read that line. Almost nobody does, and that's not an accident either. Let's put real numbers on this, because the abstraction is where people lose the thread. Tasha's balance is $31,000 at an average interest rate of 22%, which is close to the national average for people who carry a balance. Her minimum payment comes out to around $620 this month. If she pays exactly that every month and nothing more, she will hand over roughly $68,000 total before that debt is gone, more than double what she borrowed. And it will take her until she's 57 years old. If instead she paid $1,200 a month, barely double the minimum, she would be debt-free in 3 years and 4 months and pay around $17,000 in interest instead of $37,000. The difference between those two numbers, roughly $20,000, is not a rounding error. It's the entire cost of the illusion that the minimum payment is a reasonable way to handle debt. Here's where it gets uncomfortable, because this isn't really about credit cards. It's about a single psychological principle that shows up everywhere companies want your money. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Behavioral economists call it the pain of paying, and it's remarkably simple. Every time you hand over money, your brain registers a small flash of discomfort, and that discomfort is what normally stops people from overspending. Companies figured out decades ago that if you shrink that flash of discomfort into smaller, more frequent, more abstract pieces, people will spend far more total money without ever feeling like they've spent very much at all. A $600 sofa feels expensive. 4 easy payments of $150 feels almost free, even though it's the exact same sofa and often costs more once fees are included. The pain didn't disappear. It was diluted into pieces too small for your brain to flag as dangerous. This single mechanism explains far more of your spending than you'd expect. Subscription services default to auto-renewal, not because it's more convenient for you, but because a recurring charge you never reapprove triggers no fresh pain response, while a single upfront annual payment absolutely would. Buy Now, Pay Later apps split purchases into 4 installments, specifically because research on payment psychology shows 4 is roughly the threshold where the brain stops treating each individual payment as a real financial decision. Loyalty and rewards programs encourage you to spend more, to earn points that are worth less than the spending required to get them, because the reward reframes spending as progress instead of loss. None of this is hidden exactly. It's disclosed technically the same way Tasha's 26-year payoff timeline is disclosed. It's just disclosed in a way engineered to be skipped past. Kevin's story is the mirror image. And it's less about willpower than most people assume. He isn't more disciplined than Tasha in some abstract moral sense. He simply made one structural decision years ago that removed the mechanism entirely. He set up his single credit card to auto-pay the full statement balance every month. Not the minimum, the full amount, automatically before he ever sees the number, and has a chance to negotiate with himself about it. He never experiences the small monthly decision that the minimum payment is designed to exploit, because he never lets the decision reach him in the first place. When he wants something big, a new couch, a vacation, he pays for it directly from savings he's already accumulated, in one single transaction that registers as real, immediate, uncomfortable spending. Exactly the kind of discomfort that keeps spending in check. He feels the full pain once, up front, instead of a diluted trickle of almost invisible pain, stretched across years. Now here's the contrarian insight that changes how you should look at nearly every purchase decision from here forward. The convenience of a smaller payment is not a neutral feature. It is usually the entire product. When a company offers to break a cost into smaller pieces, spread it over time, or attach it to a reward structure, the primary thing being sold isn't the couch or the vacation or the subscription. It's your reduced awareness of what you're actually spending. Companies aren't tricking you with hidden fees most of the time. They're tricking you with math you can technically see, but are never emotionally prompted to calculate. The information is available. The friction to actually use it is the product. The evidence for this shows up in study after study, once researchers started looking for it. A widely cited experiment on payment method found that people spent up to twice as much on identical items when paying with a method that felt less like real money-changing hands compared to handing over physical cash. The discomfort of physically counting bills out of your hand is exactly the signal companies have spent enormous effort engineering around. First with cards, then with taps, then with stored balances and one-click checkouts. Each innovation in payment convenience has reliably increased spending, which is precisely why companies keep pushing toward whatever feels most frictionless. Frictionless for you is profitable for them, and those two things are connected by design, not by coincidence. Here's the emotional weight of what we're actually talking about. Tasha isn't bad with money. She checks her statement every month. She's never missed a payment. She does everything our culture tells her a responsible person does. And she's still being quietly charged rent on her own past purchases for what could be nearly 3 decades, because the entire system was built to reward exactly the behavior she's engaging in. Consistent, dutiful, minimum compliance. The trick isn't that she's failing to follow the rules. The trick is that the rules were never written for her benefit in the first place, and almost nobody tells you that part out loud. So here's exactly what to do with this. First, find the real payoff number on any balance you're carrying right now, not the minimum payment, the actual number required to clear it within 2 to 3 years, and set your payment to that amount automatically, so the decision only happens once instead of every single month. Second, for anything marketed to you in installments, mentally convert it back to the single full price before deciding, and ask whether you'd still want it if you had to hand over that entire amount in one uncomfortable transaction today. Third, wherever possible, restore a small amount of natural friction to your own spending. A short pause before completing purchases over a certain amount, a manual review instead of stored one-click payment. Anything that lets the pain of paying do the job it was originally supposed to do. The biggest lesson in all of this is that most financial struggle isn't a failure of discipline. It's a mismatch between very old psychology and very new payment technology. Your brain's discomfort response to spending was built for a world of coins and handshakes, not recurring billing and 4 installment checkouts. And companies didn't have to break any laws to exploit that gap. They just had to notice it before you did. Tasha didn't fail at managing money. She succeeded perfectly at following a system that was never actually designed to let her win. Kevin didn't outsmart the system either. He simply removed himself from the exact moment where the system does its work. If this changed how you'll look at your next 4 easy payments checkout screen, that's the whole point of this channel. Pulling apart the mechanisms hiding in plain sight, one at a time, so you stop mistaking compliance for control. So let's be honest for a second. If any of that felt uncomfortably familiar, checking the box every month, never late, still not moving, you're not bad with money. You just never got told what that number was actually designed to do. Here's what I want to know. Are you Tasha right now, or are you Kevin? And if you've actually read the disclosure box on your own statement, tell me what it said in the comments. Most people never have. If you'd rather see the real math than take my word for it, I made a free minimum payment cost calculator. Link is in the description. Download it and find your own real payoff number instead of the one on the coupon book. If this changed how you'll look at your next 4 easy payments checkout screen, hit the like button. It tells the algorithm this actually helped someone, not just entertained them. And subscribe, because this channel exists to pull apart mechanisms like this one at a time. See you in the comments.